1 year ago today, I started making YouTube videos. What I learned, what I did right, and what I did wrong. Stick around, I'll fill you in. Okay, so first I have to set a backstory. If you're looking at my channel, I'm sure you're seeing some videos from like 16 years ago. So you're probably saying, Jay, you didn't really start this a year ago. You started a long time ago. What you just said doesn't have any credibility. To give you some backstory, those videos were put there kind of just, hey, let me upload this so that if anybody wants to see it, I can send it to somebody else. But I wasn't really trying to do videos for any particular purpose. I was just putting stuff there for reference. I think I got one there showing somebody about how to mess with brake rotors on a Mustang, and another one where I had a Muay Thai test. So that aside, but they weren't there for inform, entertain, inspire, any of that stuff. It was just me uploading things. About a year ago, I got stuck in this fine location that I'm currently in with a virus that caused me to have to quarantine. I won't mention any names or titles or anything like that because everybody gets super sensitive about that, but I got stuck here for 7 days, no family with me, no nothing. Now, the resort was very nice. They took care of me and gave me a quarantine room, which was okay. It was not top tier, but it wasn't some kind of crappy little closet. It was decent. If you can imagine getting stuck in a room for 7 days where you can't leave, they bring you food, bring you booze, but you can't leave, one goes a little stir crazy.
One more day, please. Just one more day. I was just beginning to get into myself.
And I did all the Netflix, read all the books, did some push-ups, some burpees, and at some point I'm like, maybe I'll do a video and talk to people about what's going on. I had nothing better to do. Literally, I was sitting in my room. I did that. And I didn't hate it. I wasn't great on camera. I was a little awkward and weird. I'm a little awkward and weird anyway. That certainly shines through. After that, I said, well, that was pretty cool. Heck, let me make another one. And then I made another one after that. And if you go back and look at them, you know, it's me in Jamaica talking about those things. But when I got back home, I didn't hate that. Maybe I want to keep making videos and see what happens. And so I did. And I'm still doing it a year later, and I don't have any plans to stop at this point. Hopefully that sets the stage and tells you what I did, how I got here, and now I'll talk to you about what I learned. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the number one thing that I learned. Probably the most important thing. So if you want to dip out of this video, if you want to run away after this, that's cool, but stick around for this part because it's the most important. Of course, if you do dump out and go to something else, you're going to miss me talking about the mistakes I made that may help you avoid those pitfalls in the future. But for now, the most important thing, if you want to make a YouTube video or if you want to do any video at all, just do it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait for next month, next year. Oh, I need this equipment. I need this wardrobe. I need this thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If you want to do a video right now, you have in your possession the ability to do it, and that is your cell phone. I know you're watching this on one of those anyway. I'm recording this entire video entirely on my cell phone with no additional stuff, a tripod. But aside from that, this whole video from front to back, intro to outro, is going to be on a cell phone cam. No change in sound. It's probably not the greatest sound, but this video, you can hear traffic in the background, all on cell phone. You can do it right now. There's nothing stopping you. If there's something you're interested in, if there's something you think would be cool, you don't have to be a master. You don't need to know everything.
I am looking for the master.
Ain't no masters here, dude. Ain't no slaves either.
Your interest, your passion can drive a video. And there are numerous examples of that, of people getting into something and going, hey, I'm gonna try this, tag along with me, or there's this thing I found, I want you to check it out too. Maybe it'll interest you. Who cares? Maybe it's for your own edification. That's how I started. Maybe a small message to some friends, and it kind of grew. So nothing's stopping you. Do this now. Seriously, make a video. Nothing's going to stop you. Upload it. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but for now, guys, seriously, make that video. Nothing's stopping you. We'll talk about the next thing in a second. So the next thing I learned, and pretty rapidly I might add, is that your first video is probably going to suck. But that's okay. Hear me out. It's going to suck because you're not good at talking to the camera. You're not good at scripting, or at least figuring out what you want to say in some sort of outline form. You haven't done any editing. You don't have any of that other stuff going for you. So your first video is going to be a little rough.
It's okay, stick with it. Your next video will be better, and you're gonna learn from that one, and then your next video is gonna get better. In fact, if you do a substantive amount of work with video, and you look back on your old stuff 6 months or a year later, and you don't regard it as stinking, then you're not getting any better. You are not growing. If you're looking at your current stuff now going, that's pretty good, but I can do better, that's cool. Some of the best YouTubers there are, including Mr. Beast, didn't become Mr. Beast overnight. They took a long time. It took them a lot of work to get there. And some of that is your first work is going to be amateurish. That's okay. You're not getting paid for it. So by the very definition of it, it is amateurish. Speaking of getting paid, I'll talk about that later in the video. But for now, let's talk about the fact that your first video is just going to be okay. I will give you some tips to make it better, and it might surprise you as to where I would tell you to focus on, because it's probably not the most expensive thing first, like a multi-$1,000 camera. We'll get to that, but just accept the suck factor. If you made a video and you're like, I could do better, then make another video. Heck, make more. The best athletes in the world, the best computer programmers, the best of everything, they weren't the best right out of the womb. It took them a lot of work and a lot of time. And once they started to figure out their craft, they got better. Progress doesn't go in a straight line, guys. Sometimes it's up and down and up and down. Sometimes you have to fail a little to get better. Sometimes you get better, but then you get a little bit worse. That is humanity. That's how humanity works. Humans aren't machines, so you're not going to learn like a machine. You're going to learn like a human. Accept the suck factor, make that first video, then make another one. Coming up next, I'm going to talk to you about how to make them better. So while I got you here, let's talk about mistakes. The things I did initially that I shouldn't have, or things I neglected that I should have paid more attention to. The big thing when it comes to YouTube video is you've got to have a good thumbnail and you got to have a good title. If you don't have those, then no one's ever going to click on your video, and you're never going to get any views, you're never going to get any subscriptions, likes, any of those things. If your channel is 100% for your own edification, you don't care, then maybe this is not important to you. But if you want to grow any sort of community where people are watching your videos, then you've really got to pay attention to those facts. The title, it's got to be eye-catching. It's got to give somebody some question or interest, like, why do I want to click on that? Thumbnail, if it doesn't stand out, like on the subscriptions page or on the suggestions page, if there's not something about it that's eye-catching, no one's ever going to click on it. A big mistake that I made was just grabbing a screenshot from somewhere in the video and then just half-assing the title at the end. You can do that, guys, but it's not optimal. And if you look at some of the bigger YouTubers, they're not doing that. Some guys actually advise you to come up with a thumbnail and a title first. I've done that some. I have done it after some. So I'm not saying do that, but I'm definitely saying you should spend more time on the title and the thumbnail than just an afterthought. Sometimes when I'm working on a video, the thumbnail is kind of organically appearing to me in my mind, like how I want it to be. Same thing with the title. And there are AIs out there that can help you with better titles. If you're struggling, there are tools that you can get into that will help you. And I could go deep into that, but I'm not going to. I don't want this video to run 20 minutes. I'm going to try and keep it at 12 to 14 if I can. The next pitfall is your video. The first 8 seconds of it are critical. Big long intros, music, who I am, welcome back to the channel, hey guys, whatever. It's not helpful, and it's not going to catch somebody's attention. And according to a recent survey or study, our attention spans when it comes to video are 8 seconds. So if something doesn't grab them in those first 8 seconds, like why do I want to watch this video? Boop, they're just going to click right out of it. Like probably some of you have already done with this one. But don't worry, stick around. I'm going to talk about money and subscribers, because that's sometimes an issue or sometimes a concern for people. I'll talk about that next. We'll get to it. Really focus on those 3 things I told you though. Thumbnail, title, first 8 seconds. Once you've got those, getting viewers is a lot easier. And once you start to get viewers, you can start to get those other things, views, subscriptions, likes. If you plan on trying to take those and converting them into any sort of income, there are some other steps I would tell you, so stick around for that one next. So I'm going to talk to you guys about money, but before I do, I want to mention one last thing, which is niche, whatever you want to call it. A lot of
guys giving advice about YouTube and how to grow your channel say you got to find your topic, that one topic, and niche down to specifics. And if you are interested in ultimate growth, that's probably the case, right? You find that audience that's interested in this brand of model train. You talk all about that model train and nothing else but that model train. That works really well if you are single-mindedly focused and you're just trying to grow a channel. My channel is not necessarily 100% about growth. It's about the things that interest me. And so from that perspective, that is a mistake that I've made when I talk about those topics that I talk about. If you're coming to this channel new and you've never looked at any of my other videos, you may not even be interested in any of the other content on my channel because I talk about guns and knives and booze, cocktails, related stuff like that. If none of those topics are your topics, then me asking you to subscribe doesn't really help because you're never going to watch any of my other videos. Like I said, I diversified like that because those are the things that interest me, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this right now, or I just got this new tequila. I should link to that video somewhere, and I thought it was pretty nifty, so I want to make a video about it. So I do things like that. I don't care. But like I said, if you're single-mindedly interested in growing a channel and nothing else, then you probably need to pretty narrow focus your channel. Another thing that they always said was, if there's one video that does especially well, then you should just keep going down that path. And for me right now, I think if all I cared about was views, I'd just be doing knife reviews and optics reviews for pistols, because those seem to generate the most views. Or lawsuits against SIG seems to have generated quite a bit of stir. That's my last mistake I'll talk about in this video. Let me talk to you real quick about money.
Money.
If you want to make ad revenue with YouTube, you got to have at least 1,000 subscribers. You've got to have at least 4,000 watch hours, and then you can sign up for the partner program and make some amount of money from ad revenue. Unless you have a really big channel, you're not going to make life-changing amounts of money doing that. Probably not enough to completely quit your day job. Some people can. Obviously, Mr. Beast is now a YouTuber full-time. There are many others that have. Statistically speaking, you're probably not going to have millions of subscribers. If you do, that's cool. Heck, if you do, let me know in the comments. But what you're likely to get is enough income off of that to where it can offset your costs. Also, I'd like to point out that when it comes to making money, you can make money with YouTube through other means besides just ad revenue. And I've already done that. Affiliate links are an excellent way to do that. Partner with a brand or with a company that matches your ideals and your values.
Ladies and gentlemen, Future Editing Jay here. Mrs. Greydog pointed out to me that what I thought was self-evident or self-explanatory in my video probably wasn't. One of the brands, probably the biggest brand that I am super excited to work with at all through my affiliate links, is F3 Tactical. F3 Tactical is a veteran-owned small business, and it's not a faceless monolith. It's people, Jimmy and the Chief, who I've known for over a decade. They're super big supporters of the Second Amendment, really good people, and there's a reason why whenever there's a choice between having some Chinesian mega brand and them, I always go with them because I think they're good people and I love supporting that small business. So that's the reason why I talk about partnering with businesses whose values align with your own, because in my opinion, theirs certainly do with mine. This was not paid for by them. I don't even think they know I put this in the video. And since it's toward the end, I don't even know if they'll catch it, but I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, back to my video.
And see if you can work out some stuff there. You don't have to have a minimum subscriber amount to make money on YouTube or social media. I use those monies that I get from those things to kind of offset some of my costs. When it comes to money, you can make it with less than 1,000 subscribers. You can make it with hardly any subscribers, especially if you've partnered properly and managed your brand. You can do a lot and not have to have a huge channel. Having a huge channel certainly helps, right? In terms of working with manufacturers, other people like that, they're going to want to see what you have done and engage their interaction with you based on the amount of viewers and subscribers that you have. But it's not critical. So if you really want to make money in this space, you can. You've got a lot of options. Lastly, I'm going to talk about bang for the buck, like what you should focus on when it comes to buying equipment and spending, and where you can get the most result for the least amount of effort. Because you can spend a lot of money and not get a lot of effort. So that's going to be my last thing. Stick around.
All right, very last thing, and I'm going to make this quick. You've got some cash, you want to spend some money. Don't buy another camera. Your smartphone is as good as any $1,000+ camera out there. The only time I tell you to buy another camera is if you want to have multiple cameras for multiple things, and that might make sense. What I tell you to do is buy some editing software or get some free editing software and get used to it. Editing in a video is bang for the buck. You can splice things together, get rid of verbal tics, the hey guys, like, over and over again, the things that sometimes people say, and we all do that. I have my own verbal tics, but you don't see a lot of them because I edit them out. If you're gonna do anything besides editing, I'd probably focus on sound next and lighting after that. If you're filming indoors or outdoors right now, I'm sure you're saying, man, Jay, your sound is not that great. Remember, I'm doing this entirely on a phone, but a better microphone, and they can be had for less than $100. It makes a lot of sense. You can use it with your smartphone, or if you want to get really Gucci, you can have a completely separate sound device, record a completely separate sound track, and link them together, which I do on some of my videos, and there's pluses and minuses to doing that, but it definitely ups your task load when it comes to editing. Lighting. Probably in 2023, I'm going to make a pretty, I don't want to say substantive, but I'm going to spend some cash on lighting, because right now the lighting that I have in my basement studio is so-so. It's getting better, but I'm going to try and upgrade that a little bit this year. Something I have not done in this entire video is drill down into the specifics of any one of those topics.
Lord, I apologize for that.
There are a bunch of guys out there doing that. I don't necessarily think anybody's going to tune into me to find that out. This video is likely to get, like, if it gets 100 likes and 100 views, I'd be shocked. But it may go further. I don't know. If I get a lot of feedback and this goes someplace and people want me to drill down on one of those things, how I did it, how I made it a little easier for me, I'll do that for you. But understand right now, I'm probably going to end this here. For the obligatory ask, if you've looked at any of the other stuff on my channel and it interests you, then please subscribe. If my usual topics are not your jam, then please don't. I understand that you'll never watch anything else that I do. Thank you for your time watching this video. I do appreciate that. If you would be so kind as to give me a like, that would be awesome. I'll end this here, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Get him, Jay.